Hello again, Barry here. I've done a quick video clip here just to explain how Optiva works, and this just might help bring the whole thing to life in terms of our earlier conversations around the uh, pre-project phase that we were working on. So you can see my screen. I'm in Optiva here. This is my demo system I have on my computer, and when you click home, it brings you into this standard screen where it shows you a wizard screen, which is something for workflows. You're recently saved and you're recently viewed, so you can see stuff you've been working on earlier. And everything underneath is everything that's been assigned to me in this particular system, so all my tasks and actions and approvals that I've got to do. So for example, I've got a company here to approve. So I'm just going to step into a project. And this is a project I created earlier. Enter in a piece of text. You can see I've created a Tina yogurt project. It obviously applies some local customizations to this, but you get a lot of this with our basic configuration, so it should be fairly functional within a short period of time. And you can see the information I keyed in. Tina, there's no parent against this particular project, but I can add one. It's at an innovation status, so I haven't quite started working on it yet. It's got a category of priority 1. I can add particular business groups that I want towards that, so cost centers. And I can see the key dates that I've got to work with. And you can add lots and lots of data in here. We'll get to that again. The key thing within here is that you can add formulas. So if I add my new yogurt, as I'm developing, I can add products as I go along. So this 30% fruit one, I can assign a working status. So for this particular project, it's still in progress. I can also create new ones from here. So if I want to create a new item or create a new formula, I click on here and it'll take you into a screen where you could do more things. I'm going to click on this little pie chart here. So this is how you manage advanced projects. So within advanced project, this is basically the Gantt view of a project. So the time frames, the tasks. So we would take the list of tasks that we have for Tina for a given project, probably based on the launch process you have at the moment. And then we create predefined tasks in the system. Now when you create it first, the system will suggest a series of dates. So you can see the dates, if it's completed, yes or no, how long is each task, the dates for start, finish, it's optional, and so on. So there's lots of information in here. But largely people, once it's set up, people will use this. They'll use the drag and drop functionality to move things around. So if you've got a dependency view, you can look at the individual dependencies. So if I look at the dependency here for this particular project, you can see that it's a very, very simple dependent project, but you can see the cross dependencies for your project. And as things move and change and get delayed, you can manage the individual functionalities within here. You can also assign tasks, so you can select a individual task. Well, that's not completed, of course. Assign it to a given user and complete the poor sod who has to complete this task. So if I go back to the main screen, I may want to start introducing raw materials. So this is one we looked at in my earlier recording, and this particular raw material is a strawberry flavor for this project for a yogurt. And then we will use this particular raw material, send it out to SpecSafe as I showed earlier. You can see lots of information on the raw material, so which brand it belongs to, particular raw material, manufacturing locations that have been assigned, and if you want, you can make materials and products available for certain countries. Maybe certain raw materials are banned in certain countries, so this is useful functionality within here. You can also add test plans. It's not something we probably need to talk about, but you can add extra data in here. So let's have a look at a recipe. So this is one I made earlier. So in this particular recipe, I've got strawberry flavor, water, some whole milk, and strawberry puree. So this is the raw material we looked at just on the previous screen. And then we build up the bomb as you do on Excel or in M3. The difference in Optiva, it's a lot more flexible, so you can change the view. So I can move from a complex screen to a very simple screen. Or if I've got a particular view that I like, I can have my own particular views. So I can see exactly the information that's important to me. Underneath here, you've got the quick calc parameters. So you can select individual parameters like cost and certain key parameters that you need to watch when you're changing these. So as you change one, for instance, if I make this a little bit bigger, I would expect that the recipe and calculations would reset into the parameter. So if you're trying to hit a target cost, this is very, very useful. On the main screen, we have lots of parameters, so we can see all the individual food allergens. And as you can see, this particular one is calculating up to something. So let's have a look at this dairy one, and we see that this particular recipe contains dairy, which would be no surprise to you in a yogurt. But let's see which particular raw material is making it contain dairy. Just save it. Then you're on the contribution screen, and what this does is it basically breaks down the individual raw materials. So this particular one contains a value, the whole milk. So surprise, surprise, the whole milk contains dairy. So this is basically how the system works. You could do other clever things like hiding non-relevant information on the screen. So you can make it quite simple, or you can make it quite complex if you choose. When we're using byproducts, so if we've got processes like we're separating milk into cream and skim, we'd have a recipe, say, for skim milk. We're putting in whole milk and we're getting out skim milk, which is the recipe, but also you would put in cream in here as a byproduct. And on these screens here, you can just type in, say I get milk out, and it'll suggest you the code. So you've about 800 raw materials, so it should be very easy to locate and find the raw material that you want. So that's a very quick introduction to Optiva. We do a lot more in terms of ingredient management and stuff, but I think this is a good first step to explain to you how it might work and to get you excited about the future. So thank you for listening.